ACC. And welcome back to Florida's capital, Tallahassee, and the Donald L. Tucker Center. Let's take a look at our Food Line starting lineups. And Notre Dame making their first visit as a basketball opponent here in Florida at Tallahassee. Eric Atkins, Demetrius Jackson in the backcourt. Pat Connaughton is at the guard forward spot. Burgett and Garrick Sherman will complete the lineup in the front court. And of course for Florida State, Devin Booker and Monte Brandon in the backcourt. Aaron Thomas with the start as the third guard today. Robert Gilchrist and Boris Bojanowski as the starting center. And Mike Bray, head coach for the Fighting Irish, 296 and 149 in his 13th season as a head coach. And of course Leonard Hamilton has done a great job here at Florida State, head coach here for 11 seasons now, 209 and 148. And let's take a look at our Ford keys to the game. What's vital for both of these teams to get things done this afternoon or this evening?
Well, I think, Steve, for Notre Dame, it's going to be clock management. And when they get into the half court, they are going to be very deliberate in what they do and try to run that shot clock down. For Florida State, try to own the paint, get on the offensive glass, score in that manner.
You know, sometimes when you look at Florida State, they can go with that low tempo with you. As it helps them, of course, play good defense, I think.
Yeah, no, and it's the thing that they've gotten back, that defensive tenacity from last year. Streak broken, though. They were the only team in the ACC to start the same starting lineup up to this point, but that change made with Okara White.
Yeah, Aaron Thomas in the starting lineup. We'll see White as the day goes along. It kind of increases the depth a little bit for Florida State. Here's Booker around the top. Notre Dame. Looks like they're matching up straight man here to open up. Bojanowski's shot is no good. And Connaughton comes up with a rebound for the Irish.
I think it's going to be, it's interesting that they're giving him touches early, but for Garrick Sherman to stay out of foul trouble.
Nice three from the corner. That's Burgett with a basket.
And see, they've been waiting for that. He is a capable three-point shooter, 5 of 25 coming in on the year, but he is very much a stretch four, and that could give him a world of confidence.
A nice layup inside on the play by Aaron Thomas, who's normally a spark off the bench. They usually bring Ian Miller and Aaron Thomas in off the bench, but they're doing it a little bit differently here tonight, especially at that small forward spot.
Well, and at the end of the day, they're going to play starter minutes, so that stat is what it is. But I really like his game. He's got good size. He's been attacking the basket more recently.
Connaughton with the three doesn't go. He's a good three-point shooter. So 47 for 111.
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup watching him go against Brandon. You'll see some zone in this game. Mike Bray told us today at practice that he likes to play zone on the road. Feels a little bit more comfortable doing that.
Near steal there on the wing by Jackson. Bojanowski looks inside, and this time Sherman picks it out of clean air. And Notre Dame has it back. Atkins, the veteran guard, shot off the rim. Sherman will control it through a maze of Florida State defenders. Connaughton down the lane, and he gets fouled as he went in. Looks like it's going to be on Booker.
And how about Garrick Sherman on that play, Steve? He was the only Notre Dame player in the paint. 4 white jerseys around him. He outfought everybody for that ball. Got his team an opportunity.
Connaughton, a junior from Arlington, Massachusetts. Out of St. John's Prep. Gotten better every year, as you expect him to. 14-1 is his average.
He gives you so many things, and I love those players whose numbers go up in league play. And he's averaging 16 a game in the ACC. Gives you 7 rebounds. Really athletic, can defend, tough. Just one of those guys that's invaluable, that can play so many different positions.
Notre Dame up here by 2. Make it 3. Notre Dame is a free throw shooting team, 71%. Gilchrist with it on the wing. Thomas checked inside. They'll try Bojanowski at the mid-post area. Takes it to that left hand, and Sherman's not giving him anything, but he got it. Bojanowski with a nice move.
Yeah, credit that. They said they were not going to double early on him to see what Sherman can do with him, and got a deep catch in the paint that time, and at 7-3, so he can play over the top of a lot of people.
You're going to put your nose in my chest. I'm going to put my eyes over your head. Sherman. Connaughton will try the lane out, doesn't get it. 2 taps at it. Bojanovski gets the rebound for Florida State. Booker. Thomas from the wing. And Connaughton comes up with the rebound for the Fighting Irish.
Maybe a bit of a quick shot that time in transition. Had a decent look, but not a lot of board coverage.
Notre Dame looking for their first road win in the conference. They beat Virginia Tech on Sunday night, an emotional night at South Bend. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. Burgett in the corner. Here's Sherman. Sherman goes right at Bojanovski, and now it's an offensive foul.
And see, that's the thing. One of the things Mike Bray was concerned about, that with Sherman, sometimes he's a little over aggressive in trying to create his offense in the post. Here's the look. Now they obviously they're going to let Bojanovski play one-on-one against him, and you see that right arm go out.
So Sherman picks up the foul. Bojanovski comes off the floor now, and they're looking at some video, and I think they're looking to see if it is a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that's going to be awfully close if it was. It just looked like a basketball move. But he did get his arm up into the chin area. Bojanovski out as a result of that.
And if there's Bojanovski, he seems to be all right. He's been hit a couple of times defensively.
Well, with centers in basketball in general at a premium, Leonard Hamilton has the luxury of having Michael Ojo come in behind him at 7 feet tall and 305 pounds.
And there's Michael getting ready to take to the floor as Bojanovski will get a rest here. And they're still looking at the video on Carl Hess and Les Jones are over there, and let's see, they're going to continue to talk as they discuss that right hand of Garrick Sherman and what it was doing and whether it was intentional. Closed captioning for ACC basketball is provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. You know it's bow time.
Now they're going to let Lamar Simpson go over and take a look at it. Seems to be some point of discussion.
And the issue is whether it's a flagrant foul. They're trying to make a determination.
Yeah, I think they're just going to let it go as a personal foul.
And I'm reading Mike Bray's lips. He said that was just a basketball play. And I would agree with that. And so did the officials. All right, we're underway. Well, Carl White's in the ball game now. Bookert with it.
And expect Ian Miller to be in not too far in the behind.
Offense at a premium for both of these teams right now. Pass across by Brandon inside of the post. This is Ojo.
And the thing you talked to the coaching staff about was Florida State about him. He's really worked on his basketball skills. Was so raw when he got here, but has improved a lot. And they've shown the willingness to throw the ball into him in the post.
305 pounds, but only 4% body fat. It's amazing.
It might be about 60% body fat if I was 305 pounds.
Sherman puts Notre Dame on top here, 7-6. Early on here in Tallahassee, Steve Martin along with Mike Juminski for ACC basketball. We're glad you're with us tonight. One of the few places in the eastern United States where the weather is actually pretty decent. Ojo on the move. There's the double. He gets it back. And finishing the play inside is a Carl White.
Yeah, he's the guy, and they talked about trying to get him some more post-ups, but with the second big now, Burgett playing him, didn't block out. White, a very active player.
White did a good job to keep his distance and know where that was coming off. Here's Atkins at the top.
And all of that action is just to run time. Now with 10 seconds to go, they're going to try to make a play.
Connaughton takes the long shot. The three is good.
So they just run that little weave out front, Steve. We were watching in practice today just to run the clock down, get it down to about 15, 13 seconds, then start to get into their action.
Mike Bray tried several drills today. Get it down to 5, get it down to 3.
Yep. When you have a senior guard like Atkins, it makes you much more comfortable doing that.
Booker's 3. With a defender, Jackson on his arm is good. And that puts Florida State up.
Well, he's capable of 38%.
Booker averages 8.5, but that's deceiving. Jackson out front. White guarding him. Sherman steps across into the shot. Ojo had the ball. Atkins steals and draws a foul on Michael Ojo. So he got a timeout as Michael Ojo picks up the foul. The strength from 3. Connaughton hits this one for Notre Dame, and Booker on the other side for Florida State. 3's aplenty. Florida State by 1. There you go. Catholics for FSU. We've got a Catholic outpost here in Tallahassee.
I'm worried if I misspeak, I may get hit by a ruler.
Eric Atkins has had a strong start.
Well, you know, he's terrific. I think Mike Bray feels like he's been undervalued. I don't know if he ever made any all-league teams in the Big East, but a 3-time captain, that says a lot about a player and what he means to a program.
Notre Dame 42%. Florida State off to a great start here at 62%. They've hit 5 of their 8 shots. Notre Dame's made up the difference with an extra 3 and a pair of foul shots, and they're up for 2 more now.
I think the biggest thing for them, Steve, I mean, they're not a high assist team. They've got 1 assist on 5 made field goals, but in the first 6 minutes, only 1 turnover.
Right.
So that's a huge improvement from the Virginia series.
Well, it certainly was. They averaged, what, 17 in those 2 games to Virginia. And Virginia, one of the few teams, 3 and 4, in fact, that have shot over 40% against them. Although the game here in Tallahassee last week, or 2 weeks ago, Virginia shot under 40% and still won.
Just those cheap points and more possessions.
This is Brandon. Looking for Thomas. He'll take it down the lane, find an opening, and score. Last 9 games, he's averaged close to 17 points a game, and we're seeing why.
Yeah, and it's more aggressive. He's getting to the free throw line a lot more. If you let him get to that right hand, you're in trouble.
13-12. Notre Dame, these 2 teams fighting at close quarters here. Atkins. Ian Miller into the ball game now for the first time against the Florida State zone from the corner. Connaughton was blocked. Wojnarowski gets the loose ball, and here comes Ian Miller.
And Thomas with the rare block of a jump shot.
Thomas on the wing. So Carl White on Connaughton inside, and a foul coming up on Notre Dame. And it looks like it's going to be on Connaughton.
Well, here's the look. I mean, it was a great find in the corner, but Thomas makes a terrific play. Look at the elevation and going through without fouling. And then down on the other end, I thought about this matchup before with Connaughton and playing against Carl White, and they tried to move White into the post area, and Notre Dame forced a double and foul.
Get gives way to Sherman again for Notre Dame. Wojnarowski in the post. Back to the wing. White with a three. Rolls around. Rebound still loose, and Notre Dame comes up with it. That's going to be Steve Asturia, the freshman they think a lot of. He started a couple of games. August. Asturia has it on the wing. Florida State up by one. Connaughton's three doesn't go.
And normally he knocks those down. That's as good of a look as you're going to get against a Florida State defense.
Here's Miller. When Miller is engaged, Florida State can be very, very difficult to beat.
Well, you look at the numbers. In the 3 ACC wins, he's averaging 15 points a game. In the 2 losses to Virginia, 7.5 points. When he struggles to score, this team struggles to score.
Atkins comes back. Here's the shot from the wing. Asturia is a little long. Hard work inside by Sherman. Here comes August. He can't get it to go, but Sherman with a trailing tip.
Well, right now, Mike Ray talked about just kind of competing and staying close on the boards, but Notre Dame doing a very good job on the offensive glass.
Miller. Off to Thomas. Florida State shooting well early at 7 for 11. Carl White takes it into the middle and got fouled as he went up. And the foul is coming up there on August. Ian Miller's got it all warmed up as Florida State takes a 16-14 lead into the break. let's have a look at our Haviland Defensive Shield. When you speak defense in the ACC, Florida State naturally comes into the conversation.
And not just that, but nationally as well. You can see 6th in the NCAA field goal percentage. Opponents 37 and 9th in blocks. And Steve, they got 4 guys who have 15 or more blocks. So it's not just one person doing all that. There's a lot of length out on the floor.
A lot of people around the ball, no matter where it goes on the court. Carl White is getting ready to the free throw line. Interesting note about our field goal percentage versus rebounds. Notre Dame 33%. However, they're getting a lot of extra opportunities because they have 4 offensive rebounds.
And 6 points as a result, second chance points. That's something Leonard Hamilton wants to clean up. And these are the first 2 free throws that Florida State has shot in this game.
Carl White from Clearwater, Florida. A senior, 87 blocks, 85 steals coming into this game. White goes out. Jacques Smith comes in, so they'll trade a freshman for a senior. Leonard Hamilton has a pretty good bench with 4 starters returning from last year. Here's Atkins out front.
Well, he really feels he's got the attitude that he's got 6 starters when you count Thomas and Miller in there as well. So, you know, plenty of time to go around.
Connaughton out front. Here comes Atkins. Notre Dame working it around. They're working the clock down, and now it's time to get busy as they get down to 5 seconds. Connaughton looking for an opening. Found one. But wow, what a block by Smith. Ball still loose. Notre Dame comes up with it. Vasturia aims for a 3, and it's off. The rebound tipped up by Connaughton. He's everywhere. Finally, Thomas pulls it away.
Well, Florida State very lucky to come away with no points on that possession defensively.
Aaron Thomas hits the 3, and Florida State opens up a 7-point lead. Notre Dame will take a timeout.
Well, the thing you love, I mean, Aaron Thomas is an elite shooter. I mean, he's coming in, he's over 50% from the floor, 40% from 3, and 80% from the line. And in transition, just the trailer and the little flip back right there. And Steve, when Florida State is shooting this well at home, they are very tough. And Mike Ray doesn't want this game to get out of shape.
7-point lead for the Seminoles right now. And Ruby Tuesday takes us around the ACC to check in on conference action. Pittsburgh and Clemson going at it as we are here in the first half at Pitt. It's 11-5. And coming up at 9 o'clock, Georgia Tech and Boston College as we work our way through the first 5 or 6 games of this ACC season. And
the Tigers have gotten off to a very good start. But you know what? It's amazing that Pitt is just kind of flying under the radar, you know. Yeah. I mean, Syracuse with the high national ranking and the issues at Duke and at Carolina seem to be dominating the headlines, and all Pitt is doing is going, they're 16-2, 4-1 in conference.
Well, Clemson's 4-1 in conference. Their only loss to Florida State. They look pretty good. Ball loose. Atkins trying to get away with it. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Florida State ball. As we near the midway point of this first half, Florida State getting what it wants defensively. Holding Notre Dame to 33%, as we said, and they're shooting very well. And as Mike made the point, they shoot well in this place and hold you down, you won't be in it very long.
Notre Dame going to try to zone up a little bit.
Here's Miller. Thomas looks for an open spot. Miller has it again. Attacks the middle. I think he wanted Ojo, but Ojo turned his back on it. He's waiting for the rebound.
That's the thing, you know, for Miller, you got to leave your feet as a shooter there. Ojo had great offensive rebounding position. Not his fault to not get that pass.
Here's Sherman. Trying to take advantage of the turnover, and they do.
Well, they did a great job of clearing out that right side, and Sherman using his athleticism. Ojo a little uncomfortable guarding away from the basket.
Notre Dame 2 of 9 after a 3 of 6 start. Hooker down low. Smith's shot won't go. Rebound fought for by Notre Dame, and let's see, we got a foul coming up. It's going to be on Smith. Jacques Smith, freshman from Haddock, Georgia.
You can see once the pass goes through, and Atkins, he's got that whole right side Booker really couldn't give any help that time. That was a good quick move by Garrett Sherman.
He's got the ball at the top here for Notre Dame. 8:54 left to go in this first half. Florida State by 5. They get inside. Sherman passes to the corner to Atkins. Connaughton with a rebound. Connaughton off the glass. He gets fouled. I tell you, they list Connaughton at 6'4", but he plays a lot bigger.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think it's his athleticism very undervalued, and he has been active on the glass.
So Connaughton going to the line. He is an 83% free throw shooter, coming off a 21-point performance against Virginia Tech on Sunday night. ACC basketballs are brought to you in high definition by the ACC Network.
Well, this is a very good ball handling team, and Connaughton 52 assists, 16 turnovers, outstanding assist to turnover ratio. So really all facets of the game he is very sound, but just struggling to find the basket at this point. 1 of 7 shooting.
Misses both of a 2-shot foul for an 83% free throw shooter. That doesn't happen very often. Miller finds the ball around to Brandon. He'll take it into the paint and fire. Rebound comes down to Ojo, and there's drama when he brings it down. The ball is lost out of bounds. Carl Hess says last touch by Notre Dame.
Well, Ojo knows what he did on that play. He had great position, but just brought the ball down.
Yeah, you go from 7-1 to 5-8.
Yep, in a hurry.
Bojanowski's getting ready to come on, and Ojo goes out. Bojanowski from the Slovak Republic. 7-3 in Bratislava. Lovely. Can be from there all he wants. Booker out front.
See how long Notre Dame stays with this zone.
But they're in reach. They're just 5 down. Here's the shot by Miller. Rebound by Sherman. Jackson flies out of there. Passes out to Atkins for 3, and he hits it.
Well, we talked about it when Grant left. I think that Demetrius Jackson felt a lot of pressure to pick up a lot of that slack.
Inside of Carl White. Basket is good, and a foul to boot.
It looked like Jackson, he was holding his ankle as he was getting up.
Looks like he was in that semicircle, and no matter what good a defensive position you've got. Here's Bojanowski at work. Oh, yes. Looks like Carl White fell on his ankle. Timeout in the action here in Tallahassee. It's Florida State 23-19.
Florida State with a 4-point lead. Let's take a look at the AT&T fast analysis, and we've been singing the praises of Clemson or of Florida State's defense, but their three-point shooting has been outstanding in this game so far. They shoot a good percentage as a team on the season, but it's really not a big part of their offense. But they are 3 of 4 here tonight, and you can see, Steve, that number has picked up dramatically over the last 3 games.
Well, they had 16 in one game. Just had a situation where Carl White, there's Demetrius Jackson going to the locker room. Carl White landed on him on his shin. We'll have a look at it here momentarily. This is Carl White going to the free throw line. 7:48 left to go. Florida State with a 4-point lead. Notre Dame hanging in there with offensive rebound. Misses. 7 points for White. Here's that look again.
You can see, yeah, he gets the foul called on him and then gets landed on as well.
Notre Dame with the ball with 1 less to go. Florida State.
They're already down a man, Tom Knight, back at South Bend, recovering from pneumonia. Our best to him. I hope that goes well.
Here he's doing better.
Yep.
Nice basket by Burgett. A foul on Devin Booker.
And I think that first made basket really has helped his confidence. Good drive, tough finish, driving left and then coming up right. He's got good size. We talked about the 3-point range. Looks like he's playing with a little more confidence. And good news maybe for Notre Dame. Demetrius Jackson coming back onto the bench.
That is good news. He'll take a seat and rest. Thomas coming in. Burgett, 10 points a game against Georgia Tech and Maryland in ACC play. It's a 3-point play, and now Notre Dame hanging in there. They're just down 2 here to Florida State. 2 evenly matched teams.
And this zone has calmed Florida State down a little bit. They've kept them in the half court. They've had a little bit of an issue trying to figure it out.
Here's White, gets inside. Bojanovsky. Carl White down to the baseline. Can't put it off the glass. Connaughton with the rebound round for Notre Dame.
Pretty good defensive sequence for the Irish that time. Good recovery.
Let me give you 1 shot at it. It better be good. No good from the corner on that one by Beecham.
He had 7-3 bearing down on him that time. It's tough to see the basket.
What's that road sign doing falling on me? Miller to Brandon to Bojanovsky. Wheels at the high post. Brandon. Oh, nice shot. Monte Brandon.
Florida State will do that even against the zone. They'll screen at the top, and that's what got him into the lane that time.
Points in the paint. Florida State with great success there by 8.
A lot of missed opportunity. There are a lot of offensive rebounds that Notre Dame hasn't converted that could have been in that category.
They're hanging in here from the perimeter as they can, and Sherman gets the shot inside. He's done some good work in the paint for Notre Dame.
He has not been afraid to go at either Ojo or Bojanowski, and that was a very nice pass by Atkins.
That's his 8th point for the transfer from Michigan State. He's had the honor of playing in 3 conferences in his career. Miller down and in, plus the foul. The foul's going to be on Sherman.
And I like this, Steve, especially in the lane. Some guys try to make a direct pass, but what you'll see is a bounce pass inside and to Sherman, and then a good finish with the right hand. And I think that for the Seminoles, they've had their best work attacking the basket and getting inside, either making layups or getting 3-point opportunities.
Well, that points in the paint is indicative of that. 3-point play for Ian Miller, who's got it rolling off the bench for Leonard Hamilton tonight. 29-24, Florida State in the lead. They've had 7 lead changes earlier in the game, but it's been Florida State on top by that 3 to 5 point margin. Jackson back on the floor. Good to see him inside. August lost the handle going up for what could have been a dramatic jam down into front court. Brandon back out front. Miller for 3. Bojanovsky in against traffic, puts it up and in. And a lot of 3-point plays coming for Florida State.
Well, you know what? A lot of times Bojo forgets that he's 7'3", but he didn't on that play. Nice Nobody gets a body on him, and really nice job by Aaron Thomas to keep that alive, and he just kept the ball up. We talked about Ojo bringing the ball down before. 7-3, you just keep it up there in the clouds and score points.
Gets the readjust. Rebound comes away to Notre Dame. Seminoles with a 7-point lead and a solid floor plan here in the first half.
Important 5 minutes for Notre Dame. If you're Mike Bray, I mean, you don't want this thing to build up into double figures. You got to reel it back in. That zone has been good for them, but they need a good offensive possession here.
5 minutes till intermission. Connaughton out front. Here's the steal, and he stepped out of bounds. That was Monte Brandon. Well, Leonard Hamilton has got to like the way his team has performed at the offensive end in particular. Their patience against this Notre Dame zone has been very good for them. And Sherman, who's picked up a couple of fouls here early. Mike Bray's got to.
Now it's really going to be tough. 4:52 left, and he's going to have to go smaller out on the court.
He really doesn't have a post player in here. Here's Connaughton, the three that misses. Vasturia rebounds and can't find the range with it.
Well, they have had some very makeable opportunities inside that they've not converted.
Here's Brandon for three.
Yeah, Mike Bray couldn't wait to get under that 4-minute TV timeout, Steve.
Got to have the timeout now. The opportunity's getting easy when you're running the floor.
Well, again, I mean, this is, you know, good look. He missed it so poorly that time. It was a pass to Vasturia, but on the road, you've got to convert those opportunities, and then that just led to this transition basket. Good kick out that time for Monte Brandon.
And it's going that way for Florida State here early, and the Seminoles have built up a 10-point lead on the Fighting Irish. 4:33 left to go, and as Mike said, couldn't wait for that 4-minute timeout. Had to cure the problem right there, or at least taking advantage of it, stopping an 8-0 Florida State run. The ACC.com/social hub is your source for the latest ACC buzz on social media. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to tag your basketball tweets and photos with the hashtag ACCMBB. The ACC.com/social hub. By that time, we'll be at halftime. Your official ACC media source.
Well, and Sherman back in the ball game, and he's just going to have to play smart down the stretch here and not pick up any more fouls.
You'll get that magic third one that'll send you to the bench for a while. Atkins looking for Sherman in the post. Atkins comes back. Here's Burgett into the corner. Connaughton. The three isn't there tonight. Sherman puts it up. That's why he needs to be on the floor. 10 points for him.
And actually kind of a smaller lineup for Florida State out there. Neither of the centers in the game at this point.
Really, the only size in there is a Carl White at 6'9". Here's Thomas, and his leaks over the rim and falls through. 36-26. That's 9 for Aaron Thomas.
And see, all Sherman could really offer there was token resistance. He just stood with his hands up. And that's basically how he's going to have to defend.
3:40 to go till intermission here in Tallahassee. Atkins deep in that corner.
And Atkins and Connaughton have been really quiet in this first half offensively.
The screen and roll. Atkins takes it in and finishes.
Yeah, both of them, especially Atkins, are going to have to be aggressive in this last 3.5 minutes.
Florida State's been white hot lately. 5 out of 6 they've hit in their last 6 shots. In the lane, Gilchrist turns, makes it 6 out of 7. The 10-point lead hold.
Notre Dame probably fortunate to be down only by 10 at this point, but the way that Florida State is scoring.
62% for the Seminoles from the field here. Mike Bray hoping his team can hold on through this siege by the Seminoles. Atkins takes the three. No. Rebound to Carl White. Miller on the one. Here's a Carl White. Thomas with a 3 left side. 41-28. 2:33 to go. Notre Dame motions for a short timeout. But the three-pointer has been good of late for Florida State.
Aaron Thomas may be breaking out here in the ACC competition. I talked about the level of his shooting. He is elite at all levels. Just really in a great rhythm right now. That was a terrific open look.
Last 9 games, both ACC and non-conference, 16.9 points. So yeah, you're right. He's going to add his number to the already good performances by Okara White. And he and Ian Miller. Now tonight it didn't go that way because Thomas started, but what a combination for those 2 young men to come off the bench, Miller and Thomas, to have that firepower for Florida State.
Yeah, but leading the nation in 45% of their offense off the bench because of those 2 primarily. But also the big thing too, Steve, Florida State has not shot themselves in the foot in this game. They've taken care of the basketball and they've given themselves opportunities on that end.
Here is Atkins on an island over there. Burgett takes around to August. Now here's Connaughton at the top. Connaughton having a tough night. Atkins attacks the rim and puts it in. He's had a couple where he's had just enough to get it over the front.
Well, what happened there? August came out to set the screen and pulled Ojo out of the paint area, and it opened up everything.
Ojo got inside. Boy, did he cover some room in a hurry. That's August with the foul. Got a timeout after August's foul. Ojo will go to the line with 2 minutes to go in the first half. ACC Network's giving you a chance to watch and win $5,000 or a 50-inch TV. Starting February 1st, tune into the ACC Network broadcast. Capture a special game code and text it in for your chance to win. The more you watch, the better your chances. Visit theacc.com/WW for more details. Florida State has built an 11-point lead over Notre Dame here with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and I'll give you an idea of just how they've done it. Well, 3-pointers right there.
Yeah, 5 of 7, 3, 11 of 18, shooting. And this game on pace right now for about 90 points for Florida State. And not many teams are going to come into this building if they score 90 points and come away with a win. Full strength. I don't care if you're full strength, whoever.
Here's Ojo on the free throw line. Couldn't make it. Florida State, just to emphasize, since the Maryland game where they hit 16 threes, they are 34 of 62 from behind the arc. And that's just in 3 games.
21 of 31 here at home in the last 2.
Wow. They're 5 of 7 here early. Asturia out front. Tries to maneuver past Thomas. Forget. Into the middle. It cleared off for a second, and now he draws the foul.
All that being said, and as gaudy as those offensive numbers are, if Notre Dame converts some of those easy opportunities they have in the paint area, this game's a little bit closer.
Michael Ojo picked up that foul. That's going to be his second. And don't forget, our Hardy's halftime report will have analysis, highlights. We'll take a look around the ACC. Got some action going concurrent with us and one ahead of us. It's all coming up at halftime, which is 1:31 away. So going to get a chance to talk with Leonard Hamilton as he heads to the locker room. Out front, rare turnover for Florida State on the pass from Thomas to Miller on the wing.
A miscommunication between the two, and Thomas kind of I think he felt like he was going to come out farther to receive the ball.
Seminoles up to that point have taken pretty good care of the basketball tonight on the home floor. Here's Asturia. Down to the final minute of the first half. Atkins. Connaughton inside. Nice pass to August. And he'll hit. Zach August, 6'10" from Marlborough, Massachusetts, a sophomore. Brings Notre Dame within 8. Bojanowski. And wait.
Offensive foul.
Yeah, he hooked him.
Yep.
I thought he was getting around there pretty easily. Where's his defender?
That left arm behind him, and this all of a sudden, Notre Dame knocks down a 3 here, Steve. There you see the hook here, easy call. But you knock down a 3, it's a 5-point ball game. I think Mike Bray has done a pretty good job of keeping this thing within shouting distance.
You're only shooting 41%. Your opponent's out there at 64%. And you're right. You make a 3. And all of a sudden, an 8-point lead becomes 5, and you win the locker room. You have something to talk about. Atkins, ball knocked away. Monte Brandon. Here comes Thomas. They were too close together and couldn't agree on how to handle that. Gets knocked out with 2.6 seconds left to go.
That was great man-on-man defense that time by Brandon. 6'7", just picked his pocket in the open floor.
Full court press to try to limit the possibilities. Ball knocked out of bounds by Thomas. That took about 0.6 of a second off the clock, down to 1.8. Moves the ball to a sideline out. And for a catch and a shoot here. August, last shot of the half, and the first half comes to an end. But an impressive first half for the Seminoles, who get it rolling. Got out at one point to a 13-point lead. It's now at 8. And we've got Florida State head coach Leonard Hamilton along with us. Leonard, obviously your team shot awfully well and made very few mistakes in that first half. How do you feel about their efforts so far?
Well, I think when we were able to get stops and we got out in transition, we got some easy opportunities. The challenge for us has been giving up the offensive rebounds. I think last I checked, they about 8 or 9 offensive rebounds, and Sherman has 4 of them. We getting the stops in those situations, but they somehow or another they beat us for the loose balls and getting those extra possessions. We got to do a much better job of that.
Leonard, late in that first half, Notre Dame went to the zone. You happy with your offense against that when they made that switch?
Well, we got good opportunities every time, and we didn't make all our shots, but we were getting good shots. We got some shots right in the paint. I wish we take the ball a little farther in and maybe try to attack the basket a little bit more, but we had good shot opportunities. We missed a few of them, but I was pleased basically, but we'll mix it up a little bit more the second half. All
right, Leonard, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
And the first half has come to an end, and we're ready to go at halftime. Florida State 64%. They hit 8 of their last 10 going to the half. they lead it by 8 here in intermission over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in their first visit in basketball in regular season play to Tallahassee.
People once thought bigger meant stronger. Then a man weighing 135 pounds destroyed that notion, proving that might can be light. Defying convention is also the Mazda way, and why the all-new Mazda 3 was created with Skyactiv technology, so it's lighter yet stronger and more nimble, with an engine that punches above its weight. This is the all-new Mazda 3. What do you drive?
Welcome to the Mazda Halftime Report.
Welcome into the Mazda Halftime Report. I'm Kerry Chow alongside ESPN College Hoops analyst Seth Greenberg. Coming up, we're talking bubbles. What schools are on the bubble and how do they get into the tournament? But first, time to preview an upcoming slate of games. We'll start in the Big Ten. Michigan coming off a huge win against Wisconsin, taking on Iowa. What should we expect in this one?
Two of the hottest teams in the Big Ten. You're thinking about an Iowa basketball team. They score it easy. They play 11 guys, and on any given night, someone can step up. No doubt Roy Marble's making shots, playing off the bounce, and Fran McCaffrey does a great job getting to the ball. But Mike Gesell doing a nice job of playmaking, seeing plays early, and the depth of Iowa is so impressive with Aaron White running the floor. And then for Michigan, this is an improved Michigan basketball team without Mitch McGeary because their front court is actually contributing. Jordan Morgan and John Horford, they've combined for averaging 18 points and 9 rebounds a game, which is a lot like Mitch McGeary. But the key to me is right now they've changed their offense. Last year it was 70% ball screens. Now there's more ball movement, ball reversal, and Nick Stauskas, whoo, that dude is balling.
He is a baller for sure. All right, let's talk about the defending national champions, Louisville. They take on South Florida. What should we watch for in this one?
Louisville had a huge win at Connecticut, and I like the way they won the basketball game. Montrezl really got involved in the basketball game, running the floor, getting to the offensive glass, but most importantly, that matchup zone. The matchup zone really is the neutralizer for Louisville. It makes you react to them. They did a great job of pushing Shabazz Napier out, containing Ryan Boatwright. It's kind of like the Rubik's Cube. It's almost impossible to solve, but the matchup zone is the equalizer, especially now with the new rules where they're not getting as much out of their press. But Russ Smith is playing at a high level. Montrezl is giving him some front court depth. The key to Louisville, most importantly, is they've got to stay out of foul trouble.
I could never solve a Rubik's Cube. It's just too tough for me.
Well, I'm with you, bro. That's why I was on the bubble for 48 months.
All right, Jabari Parker and Duke taking on Miami. What should we watch for in this one?
I think the key to this game is going to be Duke's ability to attack Miami's matchup zone. Miami's done a really good job controlling the tempo of the game offensively and defensively. How do you do it defensively? By being hard to score against. The matchup zone has done a nice job of keeping people on the perimeter. They've done a good job of contesting shots and putting themselves in position to rebound the ball. Now for Duke, Jabari Parker, you talk about hitting the wall. I think he got through the wall the other day. Shooting the ball with a little bit more confidence. It'll be interesting to see how Mike Krzyzewski moves him against that matchup zone. And I think the other thing is they cannot settle to be a jump shooting team. Against that zone, they still got to get some type of inside offense.
Jabari Parker, what an amazing athlete. All right, let's talk about Wichita State. The Shockers taking on Illinois State. What should we expect in this one?
Well, I love the way Wichita State's playing. You think about all the pressure that they're on right now because everyone's talking about this undefeated season, and they are a legitimate chance to run the table. Why? Because they got a terrific backcourt. And you talk about the game starting in the backcourt. Fred VanVleet and Ron Baker, they make shots. VanVleet's ability to probe the defense, keep his dribble alive, get to the rim. And then Baker, he's not just a jump shooter. He can shot fake, make plays off the bounce. Clee Anthony Early is a very tough matchup up front. But more importantly, they don't turn the basketball over. They rebound on the defensive end, and then they contest each and every shot. This team doesn't just play angry. This team plays well. They share the ball, they dictate the shot offensively, and they make you take a tough shot defensively.
It'll be interesting to see if they can run the table. All right, Wisconsin coming off their loss to Michigan, taking on Minnesota. What are you looking for in this one?
This is going to come down to turnovers, and Minnesota had a very rough time with Iowa, but this is a Wisconsin team. They play 3 guards. They should be able to handle that full court pressure of Minnesota. Minnesota's backcourt, on the other hand, extremely talented. It's the Hollins brothers. No, they're not related. But Andre and Austin Hollins put a great deal of pressure on you offensively and defensively. Andre's the jump shooter. Austin slashes, gets to the rim. He's also doing a great job rebounding the basketball. The development of the Minnesota front court has been the difference. But this is a Minnesota team. If they can turn you over and get out in transition, they're in pretty good shape. Now, Wisconsin, I do have concerns because in their last 2 games, they have struggled in defensive transition, and they've struggled defending the basketball on straight line drives. That will be the challenge for them as Minnesota attacks you off the bounce and they look to score in transition.
That's how you do game previews right there, Coach. All right, coming up on the Mazda Halftime Report, we're bursting bubbles. Coach analyzes which teams can cement their tourney spots. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Such a finish. Here comes Mr. Perpetual Motion again. He's got the acceleration. It's there for the takedown. It's out. Really, what a shot. Oh, it's incredible. The very climax of the drama. You could not write a script like this.
Sure, it's great to have you back on board, Mark.
It's great to be back. Hey, my old notebook.
Let me see that.
You don't want to look at that. That's boring.
It's draft notes.
Oh, let me get it.
No. Curry. Too short, too slow.
Did I say that? I wouldn't call it.
With luck, maybe a career in Turkey.
You know, Turkey's pretty competitive right now.
ESPN, your NBA destination for games Wednesdays and Fridays.
Welcome back to the Mazda Halftime Report. Kerry Chow alongside Seth Greenberg. Coach, it's never too early to talk bubbles. Some teams not guaranteed tournament access, so let's talk about what they need to do to get in. We'll start off with Tom Crean's Indiana Hoosiers. What do they need to do to get into the March Madness party?
Well, I have a PhD in bubbleology. Joe Lunardi might be the bracketologist. I'm the bubbleologist. And when I look at Indiana's team, they had a great win against Wisconsin, but you've got to back that win up. Their loss against Northwestern is going to hurt them. That's just the reality of it. You cannot have losses to teams that might be below 100 in the RPI. But what they really need to do is they need to be more consistent offensively. They need to be able to make shots and score it. Now, Tom Crean made some adjustments to his offense. He's gone small. Evan Gordon now is playing the 2-guard alongside Yogi Ferrell. Their turnovers are down. They were averaging 16 turnovers a game, now only 11. So they're taking better care of the basketball, but they must make shots and they must be more consistent offensively.
All right, to the Atlantic 10, Shaka Smart's perennial bracket busters, VCU. How do they get in?
Well, they're undefeated against the ACC. They've got a win over BC, a win over Virginia, and a win over Virginia Tech. But they need some quality wins, and they're going to have opportunities. The A-10 right now is a very deep basketball conference. Maybe 5 teams have a legitimate shot of getting in the NCAA tournament. This is a talented basketball team. Early in the season, they really missed Troy Daniels, his ability to make shots. Melvin Johnson right now, he's shooting the ball more confidently. Briante Weber averages over 3 steals a game, and Javante Reddick gives him a legitimate front court player. But the key is you got to beat St. Louis one of those 2 times. You've got to win at Dayton, which is not an easy thing to do. So they've got to find a way to beat the upper half of the A-10. They have a loss at GW. They have a chance to avenge that later in the season.
A-10, a very strong conference, as you mentioned right now. All right, to the Pac-12, Stanford, big win over UConn earlier this season. What do they need to do to get into the March Madness party?
Well, Stanford's starting to play well. This is a mature physical basketball team. You got, Powell up front, who's really a versatile offensive player, used to hard to keep off the glass. But, the most important thing is they can't afford a bad loss. They had a terrific win against Oregon. That's going to have some shelf life. But what they need to do now is they need to take care of business. Beat the people they're supposed to beat. The win against UConn, that's going to last. That's especially a road win, a quality road win. But you're talking about Colorado, Oregon State win. That's going to be a little bit of a roadblock right now. They cannot afford another bad loss. I like their ability to score. What they've got to do is rebound and defend consistently.
Texas has had some big wins earlier this season. What do they need to do to get off the bubble?
Man, I tell you, this is a very talented, tough, physical Texas basketball team. A team that is more like the Rick Barnes teams we've come to know. They defend, they rebound, and they dictate the shot offensively. They share the basketball. They play without an ego. Now, this is a team that lost to BYU early in the year. Again, that's when BYU was playing at a higher level. Michigan State was a tough game. They've lost at Oklahoma. The home loss to Oklahoma will hurt them. That win against North Carolina, they're rooting right now hard for North Carolina. But the problem is they finished the season. Iowa State at Kansas, BU at Oklahoma. That's a little bit of a gauntlet. They need to continue to defend, be efficient offensively, and play with Rick Barnes type of toughness. But this team is very much in the picture. That Iowa State win was huge. The Carolina win on the road is going to be a top 50, top 75 win. Just got to find a way to navigate the end of that season.
Yeah, that schedule, brutal to end the season.
The Big 12 in general, every team has a gauntlet in the middle of their season. Really, really tough to navigate because there are so many good teams in that conference.
All right, and let's move back to the Pac-12. Cal looking really good in conference so far. What do they need to do to get in?
Cal's done a terrific job in conference, and because they've been able to win on the road, they opened up league play with 3 consecutive league wins on the road. This is a Cal basketball team that just continues to get better. They've got a legitimate front court player in Richard Solomon. Justin Cobbs is playing as well as any guard in the country. What they need to do now is they need to continue to play at a high level. The loss to Syracuse, the loss to Creighton, that's not going to hurt them. They need to continue to play well. They've got a terrific home court. Mike Montgomery is one of those guys. He finds a way to win. Jabari Bird, he was out, yet they continued to find a way to win. He was one of the elite freshmen in the country. If they continue to defend, if they continue to be efficient offensively, this team not only is going to make the tournament, but they're going to make a deep run in the tournament because they're efficient offensively and they really do a terrific job on the defensive end, keeping you on the perimeter and contesting shots.
I just wanted to mention Cal did lose to UC Santa Barbara earlier this season.
That's your school.
That is my school.
They were developing their identity. I want to know, did they throw the tortillas on the court after their first basket?
I'd be curious. I bet they did. You know, it's tradition.
It's tradition. I got hit in the head with a couple of those tortillas.
But it was all in good fun. Anyway, good stuff as always. Thanks, Coach. That's going to do it for the Mazda Halftime Report. For Seth Greenberg, I'm Kerry Chow. Enjoy the second half.
Coast Guard and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We are so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast.
Steve, you look at the numbers from that first half. Pat Connaughton, the guy who got to come alive offensively, 1 of 9 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3. But also the starters for Notre Dame really playing heavy minutes in that first half. Connaughton, Atkins playing all 20. Leonard Hamilton going much deeper into his bench. So, you know, interesting to see how fresh they can stay as the game goes on. And also for Garrett Sherman, he's got to avoid that third foul for a while if he can. But he was a warrior inside. He was terrific.
5 of 6, 10 points. As you said, 2 fouls. He's the leading scorer there. And then, of course, Aaron Thomas, who started tonight, his 13th overall start of Florida State uniform. 12 points, 5 for 6, and it's actually deepened Florida State's lineup, being able to bring Okaro White off the bench. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent adjustment.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Leonard Hamilton treats that. If he continues to have this game, he may be a guy who just responds a little bit better to starting. I mean, he's been terrific coming off the bench.
Inside, there's the steal. As Sherman couldn't get to the pass. Here's another steal. Taken back by Florida State. Atkins will have to slow down and wait for help. Here comes Thomas. And the tip in by Connaughton.
Wow, that's a costly turnover the other way. And again, second chance opportunities for Notre Dame.
And offensive rebounds. That's right. That's where they weren't going in the first half, but there's an example of what might happen in the second half to them, as you said.
But Atkins made that play. What a great defensive play in the middle of the floor.
Connaughton's had so much trouble shooting from outside. Got it going from in close. In transition, we got a whistle. Foul coming up on Florida, on Notre Dame.
And here's that play, and just heads up defensive play. Aaron Thomas looking to give the ball off. Then Atkins, the senior, making the smart play, waiting for some help to come. Thought Florida State a little slow in defensive transition getting back.
That last foul on Austin Burgett. Bojanovsky out front. Here's Brandon. He's had an effective first half. Game slowing down a little bit here for Florida State. Booker tries to speed it up with a 3, and
he was quietly. He got this game off. That's only his second basket, but that's only his second shot of the game, and he's made both of his threes.
Connaughton out front. About a minute and a half into the second half. 44-35. 9-point lead for Florida State. Burgett gives to Atkins. They want to get a good look at Sherman inside, but Bojanovsky's a little big. Around the horn they go. 5 on the shot clock. 3 away. That shot didn't go in the first half, and for Atkins, he drains it to cut the Florida State lead to 6.
A beautiful swing of the basketball that time. They had cut off the drive to the baseline, but Notre Dame did not give up on the play. Continued to move the ball well.
Booker out front. Notre Dame in that wide zone. Into the paint. It goes. And that's a nice shot inside by Gilchrist. Robert Gilchrist, his second basket of the night. 46-38. Seminoles on top. Jackson, who left when Okaro White fell on his shin. He's recovered. Jackson maneuvers inside. Finds Burgett for 3. Bojanovsky with a rebound to shut it off. Booker back the other way. Inside Gilchrist. Just scored 1. He's perfect in 3 attempts.
Yeah, that's normally only 18 minutes a game. Not a big offensive player, 4 points per, but he's been very productive in here.
How about hitting the last 5 shots of the first half and now the first 3 of the second half for Florida State? 8 straight. 48-38.
They're trying now to pull Sherman out a little bit, get Bojanowski out of the lane, involve him in some pick and rolls, try to open up some driving lanes.
Burgett into the corner. Here's the shot by Atkins is good. It's a 3.
Booker just completely got turned around and lost him. Atkins working to get his teammates in early, Steve, but he's looking to be a little more aggressive with his offense here in the second half.
Here's Gilchrist. Strong start to the second half for him. Monte Brandon finds Booker. He'll take the jump shot. For Florida State, that's been unbelievable from the floor. They're up to about 67%. They lead by 9. Inside, Sherman puts it up short. To run into the shoulder of Booker or Bojanovsky that time. Here's the shot in the corner Brings lots of air from Monte Brandon. Here comes Atkins on the rebound for Notre Dame. 3-on-3. Burgett. Inside, Sherman, and a block by Bojanowski. Sherman turns and hits.
Wow, that was a nice recovery, and actually he just shorted it. He hit the rim, Steve. He tried to go underneath because Bojanowski had that side of the ball covered, but he stayed with it. Another second chance opportunity.
Sherman leading the way. We've got a whistle and a timeout. And Notre Dame starting to pick up its field goal percentage. You're going to have to with the way that Florida State's been shooting. Atkins hits the three. Notre Dame down by 7. Sherman getting it going again. 50-43 Florida State. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. We have over 100 affiliates in 34 different states, covering 65% of the country. By my quick estimation, that's 75 million U.S. TV households. Three-point shooting, boy, they've been unreal at Florida State, and they have 6 tonight. Here's who got them.
It's four players knocking down threes. But Steve, you look at it too. Notre Dame. They've missed 22 shots, but they've gotten 10 offensive rebounds for 12 second chance points. So that's what's keeping them close. If Florida State can clean up their defensive glass, they might be able to stretch this game out the way they're shooting.
They're up by 7, but their three-point prowess since getting 16 at Maryland or against Maryland has them at 35 of 64. That's 54%. And now in their 4th game. Jackson out front.
See, they're using Sherman as a big, trying to move Ojo around and then work him back into the lane.
Sets a screen and sinks down into the post. He didn't get followed. Now Ojo is there. And a foul to boot. 3-point play opportunity coming up for Garrick Sherman, who's been awfully sure-handed with traffic in the lane.
Well, you can see this is just two-man basketball, and he rolled in. No double team coming, and Ojo giving up the baseline that time.
So Ojo picks up the foul, and Sherman's on for the 3-point play. Sherman having a fine game, flirting with foul trouble. Booker boards the miss.
Notre Dame starting to leave some points at the free throw line, 6 of 10.
And that's important as they're down 5. Ian Miller back into the ball game now for Florida State. Carl White Well, with Booker, we've got a whistle and a reach-in foul. It's going to be called. It's going to be to Demetrius Jackson. Jackson, the freshman from Mishawaka, Indiana. Florida State has the ball back, leading by 5. And despite the fact that they're shooting over 60%, Notre Dame hanging in there. Second chance opportunities, as Mike said, and they're starting to hit those here in the second half where they weren't in the first. Miller out front. Here's Brandon on the change of dribble. Vasturias steals it right out of his hand.
Nice defensive play that time. Kept him in front. Good active hands.
Notre Dame on an 8-2 run since Florida State built a 10-point lead. Here's Atkins looking for room and found the window.
And you know, a lot of times guys, they're concentrated on where the center is, and he actually drew a little bit of contact with Ojo but still was able to finish.
We've got a timeout coming for Florida State as they're somewhat concerned with Notre Dame's advance here.
Good quick hands by Vasturias, and then it's turning defense into offense.
Atkins finishes at the other end, and we got a 3-point ball game in Tallahassee. Florida State, the Seminoles leading here by 3. Sunday was a very emotional day. Digger Phelps, of course, brought Notre Dame basketball to the forefront and kept it there 40 years ago. It's been 40 years since Notre Dame ended the win streak by UCLA at 88. And, of course, Notre Dame coach Digger Phelps named the 6th name to the Ring of Honor at Notre Dame.
20 years there, an outstanding coach. Had the good fortune to compete against him in the '78 Final Four. Has been a great broadcaster for a long time. Oh, and as Mike Bray has asked him, he's around the program a lot. Comes to just about every game there.
Here's the shot by Atkins in the corner. Both teams miss on their first threes after the timeout. I'm going to start counting them now as this game is closed in.
Well, this is a tough-minded veteran Notre Dame team, and they've been through a lot of wars in the Big East, and Mike Bray has done a nice job of massaging the early part of this game with timeouts.
Nice finish at the elbow by Devin Booker, the sophomore from Anchorage, Alaska.
Quietly, I don't think he's missed a shot in this game so far. He's been very efficient. Maybe
you are correct. 3 for 3 now, 4 for 4. Jackson penetrates and hits.
Nice floater. I love when a guard pulls up, doesn't take that one extra dribble to bring the charge into play.
So they trade baskets at the 13-minute mark. It's a 3-point possession lead here by Florida State. Thomas inside. Bojanovsky finishes off the glass. Great position for Bojo.
Yeah, and I think that really Sherman had to give him that. That was a smart play defensively. He wasn't going to stop it. Why pick up your third foul there? Just let him have the basket.
Especially with plenty of time left. Atkins gets in position, but was too far away. Bojanovsky had the rebound, and here comes a foul.
And it's on Sherman. He picks up a silly foul on the other end. Forced to come out of the game, but here's the play. I mean, you see the screen roll at the top, and that's something that Notre Dame has been doing well, but you get that deep catch. He let that one go and then picked up a silly foul on the other end, a rebound that he had no chance to get, and it was his third.
Now here's where Mike Bray has to roll the dice. How long do you keep him out of the ball game? Here comes Thomas, and we got a whistle and a foul.
I think that as this season progresses and goes into next season, that Aaron Thomas could become a big-time scorer in this league.
54-49. I believe the foul was whistled on Atkins. And Thomas will go to the line. He's had quite a good night. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
It's one of those rare gifted offensive players, has the whole package, can shoot the three well, puts it on the floor, shoots it at 80% from the free throw line. Good mid-range game. Very tough to defend.
And coming of age. Last night, as we said, 17 points for him. Here's Atkins at the top. Good pressure by Thomas. Florida State's going to come out and pressure him a little bit.
Still nothing offensively for Connaughton.
Atkins inside. Nice play by August. Zach August on the pass from Atkins.
Had a couple of early misses inside, but he's regained his composure. That was a good catch and finish.
5-point lead for the Seminoles. Booker out front. Notre Dame's back in that zone. Here's Miller. Booker for three. Rebound comes down to August.
Important 3, 4, and 5 minute stretch for August right here, filling in for Sherman. He's got to be productive at both ends. Booker's first miss of the night.
Connaughton. Atkins, or rather this is Jackson, maneuvering the baseline to August, and we have a whistle and a foul coming up on Florida State. The foul is going to be charged to Ian Miller. Fighting Irish staying close. Scores like this inside. August on a nice feed from Eric Atkins that brings Notre Dame to within 5. ACC basketball play and regular season play yet. Our game summary: Notre Dame 8 for 14 from the field. Florida State 6 for 9. Second chance opportunities, though, Mike, the big thing here as Florida State is in 10-3 deficit in offensive rebound.
Well, that's where you get the disparity in the field goal attempts, a +5 for Notre Dame, and most of them have been those second chance variety. This is where Zach August, a liability at 44% from the free throw line.
And there you see
Sherman sitting on the bench.
Yep, he's in foul trouble with 3, and we still have plenty of time left in this second half. So August atones for the miss, pulls Notre Dame to within 4.
I would think for Mike Bray, if this game stays reasonable and they keep making up ground, that he may try to get under the 8-minute mark with Sherman on the bench with 3 fouls and just kind of let August get out here and play, see what he does.
That would figure. Carl White.
And because of that foul trouble, Notre Dame going back to that zone.
Oh, nice put up by Booker to Bojanowski for the dunk.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid offensively too. Remembering that he's 7-3 these last few minutes.
He's 4 for 5 tonight. Florida State back up by 6. They played a pretty smart ball game and shooting well. Here's Vasturia for 3. The freshman from Medford, New Jersey.
Quietly having a nice game by himself, in his own right too. You talked about he got his first start last game.
Well, with Grant being out, Gray said, hey, you've got the 8 or 9 guys we use here, and just said, just have yourself a good time and make the most of your minutes. There's a nice 3. Ian Miller.
Well, that's a 7-3. Bojanowski makes that play. It's a good deep catch in the zone, shrinks everybody in, and he got a terrific look at the 3.
9 points for Miller. August spins in the lane, puts it up too strong. The rebound is going to be off August and out of bounds, and it's going to be Florida State ball.
See, again, you get this good deep catch right here, and then look how everybody Connaughton in, wide open out here on the perimeter. That's the way you break a zone down, get it in the side. Yep, and then also breaking down off the dribble and the finish. Pretty good couple of sequences for the big fella inside.
Make him honor you underneath. Makes it all that easier to find shooters on the wing, and Florida State's got some good ones. Inside, Bojanowski all knocked out of bounds, and Garrick Sherman's off the bench and in. As this thing's getting serious now, and Mike Bray feels that he can't afford to wait until the 8-minute mark. Brandon at the top. Jackson checking him. 10 on the shot clock now for Florida State. Here's Brandon, and he's fouled by Vasturia. Vasturia picks up his first.
Thomas again going left, drawing the contact.
It's a 15 foul for Florida State, and now Thomas will go to the line. Thomas is 79% free throw shooter. 15 for Aaron Thomas. He was a starter tonight for Leonard Hamilton. Normally comes off the bench. They decided to switch things around and bring a Carl White off the bench. And the move has paid off so far for Florida State.
One of those guys too. I mean, really didn't play a lot of minutes last year. Only 18 a game, averaging 6 points. So I'm over doubling his scoring average.
Right now he's up there around 17 a game. He's got 16 already.
And he's hadn't been able to take a rest on the offensive end. He's been guarding Atkins a lot of the evening as well. That's no easy assignment.
Atkins to Asturia. Asturia baseline, and Sherman missed the easy one, but another offensive rebound, and Sherman's got it in.
He just wanted to pad his rebounding statistics right there, giving up the assist.
How close am I to a double-double? Let's see how close I can get. Out front with Monte Brandon. Inside looking for Bojo. But he was in too deep. He'll go in again. Oh! Can't make it work. Rebound, put up the reverse there, didn't go.
But Thomas arguably should have come down with that ball. That was a tough finish up over the top. If he had gotten his legs underneath him, he could have gotten two.
And it hit the rim, so he could have come back out for another 35. Asturia at the top. Here's Jackson. Walks right in there against that zone defense, and now here's Connaughton. He charges through. No, it's not going to count, I don't believe. It's an offensive foul on Connaughton.
Just a very, very frustrating night. Has a little word with Les Jones in the way by, but tried to see an opening. Clock running down. He saw this guy was in trouble. And usually 7-3 doesn't take a charge, but Bojo's stepping in.
And he was outside that restricted area as well.
Yeah, well outside of it.
So the basket does not count. Thomas on the free throw line.
Technical on Mike Bray.
Thomas now has hit 17 straight free throws for Florida State over a range of games. Make it 18 now. And the Seminoles sport an 8-point lead on a game that get down to one possession. Florida State moves ahead here by 8 with 8:13 left to go. Seminoles will have the ball in backcourt to bring it up after the technical. So it could be a key swing in this game, although there's plenty of time left. Here's Booker, who's played a solid floor game tonight for the Seminoles. White. Bojanovski going in. Finds Brandon in the paint with him. Nice discovery by Bojanovski.
Yep, nice pass. Good cut down the middle of the lane.
Lead is back to 10 now for Florida State. Connaughton. Sherman. Pass picked off and knocked out of bounds by Thomas. Got a timeout. 7:38 left to go here in the second half. And it's Florida State 67-57. And we'll return after these messages from your local ACC station.
State widening the gap to 10 points. And let's revisit our AT&T Fast analysis. And Notre Dame has hung around in this game because of their second chance opportunities. 22 rebounds in all. Half of them are on the offensive glass. And that guy, Garrett Sherman, has got 6 of those. And that's really been the way they've been able to hang around. A low shooting percentage, but 11 second chance opportunities for 14 points.
Sherman has picked up 3 fouls. He's playing with them now with 7:38 left to go. But this is a key point of this ball game, you think, Mike, because Florida State's back to that 10-point lead again. They're shooting fine. 9 of 14 from the floor. They've maintained. They've been over 60% all game.
I just keep waiting for. You get the foul right there going to Bojanowski. I just keep waiting for Connaughton to kind of come alive here. I mean, he's the type of player, he's a tough-minded kid and wouldn't let 30 minutes of poor shooting affect the last part of the game.
Bojanowski with the foul, but you're right about Connaughton. He's 2 for 10. Very uncharacteristic after a 21-point performance in the win over Virginia Tech on Sunday at South Bend. And Garrett Sherman out of Kenton, Ohio. Transferred from Michigan State, we said.
It was really kind of bottomed out and fell out of the rotation last year, but then came back into it in that 5 overtime win against Louisville earlier in the year.
He cuts the Florida State lead to 8. The pair of hits on the foul line. Booker now brings it into front court. He's faced the pressure pretty well. Here's Thomas inside to Bojanowski. Traveled. A rare turnover for the Seminoles here. That's the 9th turnover for Florida State. They had 17 at Virginia on Saturday. And you cannot turn the ball over to the Virginia Cavaliers, especially when they're shooting close to 50%, around 48 or 49% as they did Saturday.
Well, and the thing, too, about that number, Steve, and I was there, about half of those were unforced errors, and those are the ones that are the killers, too.
Haven't had that many tonight. Connaughton hits Sherman. Connaughton and August in the game at the same time. And here's a walk by Sherman. And you can probably call it the presence of Bojanowski.
Well, that too. And then he was trying to wave August out of the paint area, and it just got a little clogged up inside. And this, I think Sherman trying to do a little bit too much right there.
Well, you talked about getting August out of the area. His man wouldn't leave. Okaro White came over to help. 6:46 to play. Here's White. Booker. Bojanowski. Roundhouse hook, and the rebound comes away.
And in that zone, even to save Sherman, they've moved him out of the middle and letting August play there.
It's returned by Eric Atkins. And now it's back down to a 6-point ball game again, 67-61.
You've got to find him and stop the advance of the basketball. He had a free run up the court into the middle of the lane.
Veteran senior, Columbia, Maryland. High dribble. Chance by Thomas doesn't go. The rebound underneath on White. Just when Florida State needed it, 69-61.
Well, that was only the 5th offensive rebound. Now they've been shooting it lights out, so there haven't been many second chances, but that was a key one.
Here's Jackson. Connaughton trying to get his shot off. He's had a lot of attention underneath. Here's August, up and under, good, plus the foul.
An impressive game for Zach August, and they have needed him in this second half. Sherman goes out with free throw trouble or foul trouble. He has performed, now playing with Sherman. Good power move, pump fake inside, and a strong finish.
That's 7 points for him, and he's on for the 3-point play opportunity here at the 5:43 mark. Notre Dame hanging around. They're just 2 possessions back by 3s. 69-64.
Didn't look like a 44% free throw shooter there either. Good form.
It's a 2 out of 3. Here's Booker. Florida State looking for their 4th win in ACC play against 2 losses. Drive by Monte Brandon. He wasn't sure if he took an extra step. Loose ball. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Okaro White getting things organized. Up and over on the dunk attempt. It didn't shoot. It didn't hit the rim. Here comes the shot. Okaro White from the corner for 3. What a way to end a lengthy and somewhat disjointed possession.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got to come up with those 50-50 balls on the road. Big time play by White.
Oh, nice pass inside. Sherman on the offensive rebound gets the bucket and the foul on O'Carl White. Yeah, the offensive rebounds have been key.
Well, there's the almost lob right there, and I thought it hit the rim, and they should have recycled the clock.
Carl White hits there, and Sherman gets the three in a different way.
There's a bat flying around the court. Where's Mino Ginobili when you need him?
Yeah, I didn't think bats flew in the light. Devin Booker took a swing at it. I'm not sure how he played this, but he's having his time at center court. He just wants a cheap seat. Unfortunately, he's got to keep moving to watch the game. But he's the main emphasis of what's going on here.
Cameraman doing a good job keeping him in the frame.
I wonder when he runs out of gas. Carl Hess just looked at it. He's tough as nails. All right. Time to look at the nation's top 25. It's brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. Syracuse, highest ranked ACC team right behind Arizona, Michigan State up there, and then Duke in 18. How about Pittsburgh? They played Syracuse. They gained 2 spots despite the loss.
Yeah, like I said, almost flying under the radar no longer.
And Pitt in action tonight against Clemson. 71-38 with 3:33 left to go. And Pitt has been very strong in that one, obviously. This game a little more entertaining. And Eric Sherman makes it just that much more. 72-67, 4:52 left to go. Coming into crunch time.
A free timeout for Notre Dame that time, both sides with the little stoppage, that stoppage.
Booker out front, and he's having trouble handling it. We've got a whistle and a timeout. No, they're going to call jump ball. Possession arrow goes back to Florida State.
Yeah, and their assistant coaches are Rob Landis up and Mike Bray thinking that he got fouled that time, and he can't pick up another technical. He might not have had a bad argument.
Good defense by Notre Dame. Out front, Booker. Miller, who can hit the three. Here's Booker. As everybody from Florida State's been hitting him tonight. Here's the reverse by Thomas, boarded by Connaughton. 5-point game here in Tallahassee.
And now Sherman able to play a little freely defensively.
Connaughton, 2 for 11 from the field tonight. And he's 1 for 7 from behind the arc. Here's Miller, deep three. No, would have brought the house down. Instead, Atkins gets the miss. Here comes Notre Dame. He'll pull up. Can't get the 2. The rebound to Carl White. Off to Booker. Florida State gets to run a little bit. White, open 3. No.
A couple of ill-advised threes by Florida State the last couple of possessions.
They're browsing for a kill shot. We've got a timeout called by Notre Dame. It's just a 30-second timeout.
Well, you know, the thing about a point guard, Steve, Eric Atkins averaging 4 assists a game, but he's got the ability to score too, and he knows that you know, they're a little bit down, that his small forward is struggling from the floor. Sherman's scoring, but they needed him to pick up his offense, and he's responded in the second half.
Atkins, the leader, the senior, rock steady when things have gotten troublesome. He's facing a Florida State team that is shooting awfully well, playing very effectively. And there's Atkins with 19 points.
See, this is a point now. They're going to have to go offense for defense with Zach August because of the 44. Even though he shot pretty well from the free throw line tonight, they're going with a much smaller lineup out there right now. It's basically 4 guards around Sherman.
And you don't want to take any chances that the law of averages catches up at this point in the game. And a near steal there by Ian Miller, but wow. Timeout on the court. Notre Dame crawling to within 5 of Florida State. The Seminoles in the lead will take a timeout. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Over 100 affiliates in 34 states and one bat apparently tonight. 3:32 left to go here in the second half. Florida State 72-67 over Notre Dame. Very entertaining game. Let me take a look at our game summary. 3-point field goals, historic for both teams. Notre Dame's picked it up, but Florida State stayed right with them in second chance points. Notre Dame has kept themselves in the ball game because of that. Yeah, I mean, you look at it that the night that Connaughton's having and the way that Florida State has shot the basketball, it's really pretty astounding that it's a 5-point game with 3.5 minutes to go. Steve Asturia, he's a freshman, puts it in bounds. Here comes Atkins to the corner. Jackson fakes the 3, fakes the drive. Sherman wrestles Miller for the ball to the corner. Atkins for 3. What a terrific play by Sherman. That was a tough catch. It's a 2-point game. We have a whistle and a foul on Miller before the ball came in. He pushed Atkins out of the way. That's 2 on Miller, and now the Fighting Irish have a chance to tie or take the lead on a 3. Unbelievable turn of events. Here it comes. Oh, ball stolen away. Okaro White has it. Gives it to Bojanovsky. Here comes Thomas in a foot race for the back. Big turnover by Notre Dame, and Florida State takes advantage. Oh, I had it right there, and a big turnover. And Bojanovsky, how about that? The lead-out pass for the dunk. Thomas with 20. 26 is his career high. He's had a stellar night for Florida State. 2:45 to play. Atkins. Connaughton to the top. Vasturia won't take that 3. Now he does. The rebound to Okaro White with 2:34 to go. White with 11 boards. He's had a double-double coming off the bench tonight. One key change in the lineup. They got Thomas in as a starter, and it's worked out for both. And they're both on the floor now.
Well, they may be coming off the bench early, but they are going to be on the floor late.
It's not who starts, it's who finishes. And Bojanovsky is fouled out front. And it's going to be on Jackson.
There's the play. Everybody getting on the floor. And then the good look ahead. That's a tough pass to Connaughton right there.
White hat position. Beautiful pass by Bojo, and the finish by Thomas. Here comes Booker to the line. One half of the one-on-one doesn't go. Big Notre Dame has it. Yeah. Seminoles are in the penalty. Florida State has committed 16 fouls. Notre Dame at 8. Under 2 to play in Tallahassee. Asturia at the top. Fighting Irish looking for their first road win in ACC play. Here's Atkins all the way in, taking 2 Florida State players with him, cuts it to 2.
Boy, he has been terrific offensively, and it's again running the shot clock down, a 2-man game.
Florida State takes a timeout. There's Atkins going to the huddle with a 24-point total in his column tonight.
This is how the end of the game, end of the clock is going to come. A 2-man game. Sherman coming out. Bojanowski trying to get there. That was a tough finish.
It certainly was.
Well, I never really thought Aaron Thomas. I mean, he was afraid of his guy in the corner, but had an opportunity to step up and take a charge.
Notre Dame's shooting percentage has increased now to 47%. They're 27 of 57. Florida State's gone down to 58. The Fighting Irish hanging in here with 1:29 left to go. Both teams now in the bonus. Fascinating finish here in Tallahassee.
Your guy all night has been Aaron Thomas. He's been the one to play, and I think that what try to do here is try to be aggressive with the basketball, make something, make a play, go into the rim, put the pressure on the referees. Don't bail them out with a long 3.
Florida State from the line done pretty well. Notre Dame's last lead was with 14:03 left in the first half. They led at 12-11.
Well, is that really necessary, the nun doing the tomahawk chop? I mean, come on.
Anything will do. Aaron Thomas with 20 points, 6 of 10. He's had a pair of 3-point field goals, as you see there. Stellar game for him. He got the start tonight. Carl White has come off the bench and got another double-double.
Looks like Notre Dame's going to go zone in this situation.
With the exception of the inbound. They're not going to let him have a cheapie coming in. Minute 26 to go. Booker, Miller, shot clock is at 18. Here's Miller.
There's kind of a lot of standing around right now for Florida State.
10 on the shot clock. Thomas out front. Into the corner quickly. The 3. White, no, doesn't go. Notre Dame with a rebound.
That was not a good offensive possession for Florida State.
And Leonard Hamilton knows it. Timeout called by Mike Bray for Notre Dame. And that's I think, going to be their final timeout. So with 58.2 seconds left to go. Notre Dame with 29 on the shot clock will plot their final play here. Our next telecast on our ACC network stations airs this Saturday at 3 p.m. Some of you will see the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in Winston-Salem. Others will see the Commonwealth rivalry as the Virginia Tech Hokies travel to Charlottesville to take on the Virginia Cavaliers. Find more information on how you can watch the ACC network games on TV and online on the official ACC mobile app or at theACC.com. Of course, tough spot here tonight. It could get tough in Winston-Salem, where Wake Forest is 11-0 and 2-0 against ACC competition with a big win over North Carolina the last time out at home.
You just seem to see the philosophy here. But you know, Steve, I like something quick hitting. They've had a lot of success with that two-man game at the top with Adkins and Sherman. You get something quick hitting, tie it up, and then you assure yourself for the last shot.
Well, the shot clock has 29, 58.2. You saw the timeouts. Notre Dame, after falling down by 10 at the 7:55 mark, have outscored Florida State 15-7 since. Asturia will inbound it. Just in backcourt. Atkins to control this possession from the start. Sherman. Here's Jackson. Thomas watching him. Asturia guarded by White. Shot clock works its way to 10. Connaughton. It's down to 5. Connaughton on the way in. Ties it up at 74 with 33 seconds left to go.
How about a guy shedding 39 minutes of poor shooting and making the play to tie it up?
Timeout, Florida State. Shot clock is gone. 27.2 seconds left to go. Wow.
Now that last timeout, Mike Bray went over, put his arms around Connaughton and says, you know, almost like to, come on, we need you here. And things opened up. That possession was dead out front right here. And then because look, there's nobody back to help right now, and he just makes a tough move. I think everybody a little wary about leaving shooters out on the perimeter, and that left the drive open inside.
And of course, Connaughton is a very good outside shooter. I don't think they anticipated that he would finish the play as he did, but he has, and it ties it up at 74 with 27.2 seconds left to go. What a game here in Tallahassee. Great comeback by the Irish. They've hit 6 of their last 10.
Nothing, I mean, not to over dramatize it, but to play the way that they have played and how Florida State has shot the ball, to come back and tie it up, how mentally strong that team is.
10-2 run over the last 4 and change. And now it is Florida State's turn.
Now, and if you're Florida State, what you need to do here is at least give yourself an opportunity to get a shot up and to have a chance for an offensive rebound. Notre Dame defend without fouling. Ian Miller has made some game-winning shots for this team.
24 seconds left to go in regulation. Florida State would like nothing more than to walk off this court in about 16 seconds as a winner.
Who's the new Michael Snare?
We had a pair of game winners last year. We sat in on one of them. Miller steps in. They don't need it. Timeouts left for the Irish. Comes into Atkins. 2 seconds. 1 second. Atkins at the buzzer. No. And Florida State holds on for the win. On Ian Miller's put in the lane. A gallant win by Florida State to move their record to 13-5 and 4-2 in ACC play. On Ian Miller's lay-in the lane. Not a lay-in, but just a throw-in the lane. Let's see it again.
Well, we talked about it, that he has hit some big shots over the last couple of years for this team. It had been Michael Snare, but Ian Miller had that look. And that's tough. He started out going left, the good finish inside.
Solid floor game for Ian Miller. Top shot.
This is actually a decent look down the other end. Adkins had been spectacular in the second half, but that one couldn't drop.
Leonard Hamilton more relieved than happy at that one as Florida State wins 76-74. We'll be right back. basketball is being brought to you by Food Line, official supermarket of the ACC. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By AT&T, exclusive wireless provider of the ACC. And by Ruby Tuesday, official corporate champion of the ACC. Ian Miller's shot with 3.2 seconds left to go gives Florida State a winner over Notre Dame. You've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Join us again Saturday at 3 on the ACC Network. Some of you see Virginia Tech at Virginia. Others will see Notre Dame at Wake Forest. For Mike Jaminski, I'm Steve Martin saying good night from Tallahassee.